are you?
I'm very well. Haven't spoken to you for ages.
Forever. I was missing you.
Oh, for ages. So our episode that went out last week, we recorded 3 or 4 weeks ago.
I don't know. Time goes so quickly.
I know, it's like, whoop, where did that time go? It's like January went on for 4 years and February's nearly finished.
Oh, it is. You're quite right.
It's like,
oh
how did that happen?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, it's not nearly finished. It's like halfway through. Well, it's not halfway through because it is a leap year this year, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So
we did get an extra day. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
Oh, I don't know. Well, it depends what you do, I guess. What days it fall on? Is it a Sunday? Can I go, I got an extra day in bed?
Should we have a look? What day is the 29th of February? Are we getting a decent day? No, it's a Thursday.
Oh.
It's not even a good day.
No.
It's a Thursday. Never mind. But the clock's changed in March, so that's good.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, the nights are already getting lighter.
Oh, isn't it nice?
Yes, it's lovely. I've done so much since I last saw you as well. I went to the Sustainable Wedding Summit in London.
We will have to do an episode on that. You'll have to tell me all about that.
Oh, it was so good. I had such a good day.
But I did see that because you met Claudia from Green Fox Bakery.
Yes, I did. She is so lovely. She is so lovely.
Isn't she? Isn't she?
I've spoken to her and I said we must get her to come on an episode.
But she put a picture of you up on.
I just had my face surgery, and
I said I'd messaged her. I went, Sammie looks like she's been 10 rounds with the dentist. And she did say, I felt so guilty asking her for a picture, but I had to.
I really did. I was like,
yeah, your face was quite large that day, wasn't it? Yeah. It's just the lower half of your face.
Yeah.
Yes. But was it good? Was it a good day? Yeah. Even though you look like you've been beaten up, was it a good day?
Really good. I met some wonderful people. I really put myself out there, which again I can thank our podcast for, because I don't think I would have done it previously. I went up to people. I took a name of a girl, because what we're talking about today is a wedding shoot. I'm hoping she'll come and do the photography for me, but I haven't looked at my messages because I'm so busy. So I'm hoping she said yes. So, and I met a lovely girl from Liverpool, and it was just so nice. We all integrated really well, and we did little funny exercises after lunch, which we thought everyone was like, we're gonna have to do team building, but it was a 2-minute funny thing. And then we all sat in our industries and met everybody in our industry, and
that's quite a nice way of doing it, isn't it? Because then you can pick up tips from the people that work directly like you do.
Yeah, definitely. So I will definitely go again to next year if I can. I thought it was very good. And then I went to Waltham Abbey, I think it is, where Tasteful Cakes is, and I did a 2-day course there. Had so much fun. I stayed in a hotel. It was just lovely. And I made a model. I haven't put any pictures up online yet because I want to take some nice pictures.
Yeah, some proper photos.
And like, oh my God, it's amazing what I've made. It's so good. I'm not even saying, it's good, because I'm just saying that.
But you're proper impressed with yourself.
Yeah, I am. So yes.
Exciting.
So yes.
It's only been 2 weeks. Was it 2 or 3 weeks I haven't spoken to you? Bloody hell.
Yeah, I've done so much, darling.
I feel like I've been literally sat around doing nothing.
You've been sitting around vomiting.
Yeah, very well last week.
But you're better now.
I'm better now, but I was poorly last week.
Yeah.
And I've got a shed.
Yes.
So before we came and recorded this, we were just talking about my shed, and I put on Instagram, I'm doing an experiment for my business. Sammie thought that experiment was letting cake rot outside in my shed.
Because I don't read anything online. I just I have to go in and look at stuff. So I apologise.
So it's an honesty box shed, and I keep selling out, which I'm not knocking
I think that's brilliant.
And people are honest. I've had no one steal.
No.
I mean, I've only done it 2 weeks, but there will be eventually. But
yeah, fair play. I
So
think that's
far,
such a
no one's
good
stolen.
idea. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how long before I get bored of it.
Yeah. Long may it last.
Yeah. Right. So what are we talking about today then? Because this is your topic.
Yes. So
that you dragged me into.
Yeah. So I am doing a stylized wedding shoot, which I'm kind of organising. I'm doing it with a couple of my friends. So it's kind of got a sustainable feel about it. So my friend Sass owns a shop called Beatnik Emporium in Southampton, selling vintage clothes. From the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, that sort of thing. And I happened to say to her at New Year, "Oh, we should do a shoot." And she's been saving wedding dresses, and she's got some from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. So we're going to do a kind of an alternative wedding shoot. So I've started organising it. But today we're going to be talking about wedding shoots because you've done a few already.
Yeah, so I did, coming out of COVID, I'm pretty certain about 10 to 12 shoots in 2 years I did. Yeah. And I think it was generally because we were coming out of COVID, it was because people were quite tentative, and they knew that weddings weren't quite coming back yet, but like, how can we put ourselves out there and what can we do? So I did a lot. And we've done some before. We did some back at the shop, didn't we?
Yeah.
Many years
ago.
So I've done some that I've attended. I've done some that I haven't attended, but I've given cakes to. I've done some that I've been really involved in, and I've done some that people have just phoned up and gone, "Have you got a cake? This is the deal. Have you got anything that matches?" and that sort of thing. So I've done quite a few, and I reckon 10 to 12 in 2 years I did. That's all I did.
It was, wasn't it? But
I didn't sell any cakes. I just kept making cakes.
But there were some very amazing, wow-looking cakes.
And it got me the chance to make cakes that I wouldn't necessarily. Yeah. No one would have come to buy that cake.
No.
Until I did one of my first ones that I did. It was actually like a photographer's workshop day. So they set up like all this couple set up all these things, and then they invite photographers in to practice on everything that they'd set up. And then those photographers then had their content, and then we all, as suppliers, we all get content as well. And someone came along and actually ordered the exact cake because they'd seen it on someone's photo. And this woman ordered the exact cake, to the point that I'd actually made it with cake inside and it was blue inside, and she wanted it blue inside.
Wow.
So she wanted the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I remember when she came to me, it's a lady called Lauren Layfield, who is a DJ, and she does Radio 1, she does Capital FM. She's been on things like The One Show as a journalist. She's like an upcoming journalist. And I remember when she came to me, she had like a blue tick. I'm like, who's she? Oh, she's going to be asking for freebies. No, she was great. She was absolutely perfect. She was like, when you've got your ideal client written down, she was my ideal client, and she came from a photo shoot and had the exact cake that I'd made.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. And that was like, you sit there and go, yeah, that's why I did it. That's why I was doing them. So yeah.
So I'm going to ask you some questions.
I know I've had a list of questions sent to me.
I did a little bit of research, because even though I know what I'm doing, I think it would be nice to. Well, I don't know what I'm doing actually.
You
do. I kind of bumbling around. So I just thought it'd be nice to get it from your point of view as well. But why do you think? I'm going to ask you like they do on what is it, Loose Woman? Why do you think you should have a stylized shoot? What can it do for your business?
Right. So the ones that I did, even though I did a lot, and I did do a lot, I really picked and choose. I actually turned some down as well. So I did turn some styled shoots down. because at the time I also rebranded, and I rebranded. So I completely I changed from the Daisy Cake Company to Bronya, and I changed my style, and I changed the whole thing about my business. And I wanted to suddenly project who I was, because no one knew who I was for that. And that kind of really got it out there. And I was working with a lot of other suppliers, and then you've got all this networking. So all of a sudden, all these other suppliers, you're stood with your beautiful cake that, you know, it's like, no couple's ever asked me to make this cake, but I'm going to make it and I love it.
Yeah.
This is what I can do. This is what I love doing. And then you've got all like the photographer, you've got the stylist, you've got the florist. And then I got loads of referrals from it.
Yeah.
Because people kind of went, oh yeah, that's who she is. And I've worked with her and I've seen what she can do. Yeah. And she's actually turned up, and I've worked right alongside her.
And it's a good way of meeting people who are your style as well. Because you can tell, because sometimes you meet, like I'll meet a florist and I think, oh my God, I just love your work. Yeah. And it's that sort of thing, I guess. Isn't it?
It goes right the way back. It always goes back to your ideal client, and what other, so who is your ideal client, and what other suppliers would your ideal client pick to work with, and put yourself in amongst all those suppliers that you know your ideal client love. And you're going to be one of them. You are this one of them. And on top of that, you get amazing pictures. You get some incredible pictures. You've got your content. You've got it for your website. You've got it. If you go along to the shoot, you can record things. So you've got. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it gives you so much. But I would say the networking and putting yourself in that group of suppliers that's part of that as one of the people that your ideal client want to come and
do you have to pay to do a wedding shoot?
I've never paid. Ever paid. So the deal that I've always, I think sometimes florists get a little bit of money towards stuff.
Yeah.
Not always, because I think what you've got to think is that as a cake maker, we can take our cake away. Yeah. Although, to be fair, the amount of cakes that I've made, and I made them real cake because I've had specifically asked for real cake for the shoot. I did one. It was usually Lex Fleming. She was the one that always asked for real cake. Yeah. So Lex, she has some incredible ideas, and she did an Addams Family one. And she messaged me, and she said, "I want a cake that looks like that looks like an urn that's got the ashes of a dead uncle inside." I was like, okay. So she sent me some pictures of urns that she liked. Yeah. And she said, the problem is, she said, I know that you'll make an urn and it'll look like an urn and no one will believe it's a cake. So can you make a section of it that we can cut? Yeah. So then people can see it's a cake. So that one was that. And another one that Lex did, she wanted, it was a Cruella de Vil one. Yeah. And she wanted Cruella actually pulling the cake apart. Yeah. So she wanted the cake like being pulled apart by the bride as such. So that had to be real cake as well. Yeah. And I did 2 photography workshops, and they wanted it so the cake could actually be cut, so the photographers could take pictures of it. So I did like 1 tier that could be cut. So I never did like the whole thing. But otherwise you do dummies. They never get cut. That's the thing. So I think florists sometimes, because they can't reuse their flowers, they may have money to put towards it. Mm-hmm. People may put up. Like,
I haven't actually spoken to a florist yet.
Yeah.
So that's because my shoot is going to be like kind of an alternative. So I have to think about the flowers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did one shoot once, and the florist didn't really show up. And it was a Gucci inspired shoot, and it was like all red and this gorgeous, and I thought I was going to have all these beautiful red roses. Well, the florist didn't turn up. So I actually had to go to the local town and find a florist and buy the flowers myself. Yeah. It wasn't a problem, but I was like, oh, I want my flowers. Yeah. Sometimes, occasionally, I think a venue might ask for money. But I think what happens is that it's a group of suppliers and they're all coming together
as a
and
collaboration.
and you're all doing it together and you're all getting something out of it. So you're all giving your time to one another. And you all get something back, because without the venue or the photographer or the cake maker or the dress, you haven't got a shoot. You've got things missing. So if you all come together, so I've never been asked to pay. I've been asked to pay my own way. I've never had expenses, but I've never been asked to actually pay.
And so we've kind of skirted around the concept. So the people have come to you with the ideas, haven't they?
Yeah,
previously.
that's what I thought. But so some of them have been very stylized. So I did the Addams Family one, and everything was. What I'll do is after this episode, I'll put some pictures up on Instagram.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Because the Addams Family one, they had a dressmaker that made the dress, and it was like this beautiful fishtail dress in black. Oh, stunning. Deep red roses and everything. And they had this amazing venue, and they had a wedding stylist who brought in like dusty books and
wow,
amazing. But you were given a brief, so that's like what the style was. Others I've been sort of like sent mood boards and gone, it's a bit boho, or it's a bit of this. And then so it's not quite so stylized.
And you can use your concepts, your ideas.
And then you can look at all the mood board. So the Gucci one, she sent me a Gucci mood board, and all the ideas came together in that one cake, which fitted perfectly because everyone had that same mood board. Had interpreted it in the same, which is what you hope a wedding couple will do. They'll give you ideas and they'll give you a mood board. They won't give you can I have that cake, please?
I still get that a lot.
I know. I got an inquiry this week. I've seen a picture on your website. I want that exact cake, please. It's like, oh, really?
I had a text earlier. How much for a cake for 100 people? And that was it on text.
Costco.
Oh dear.
Anyway. But I mean, some of them have been really stylized, and some of them have been like a vibe, like a feeling, that sort of thing.
So it's kind of like also knowing, like when you're setting it all up and everything, you're going to know your target audience. You're going to know who you want to target.
And that's it's all, I think knowing your ideal client is the absolute crucial part in all of this, because this is your chance to speak to that one ideal couple as such, or whoever it is. This is your chance to talk to them directly with what you're doing. So you've got to imagine, if they have a Pinterest board and they're putting everything for their wedding on a Pinterest board, what is it they're putting on there that you want to see?
And you can take bits from it and go, I want to do it like this, or you want pink with sequins and
do you want spot? I mean, so I did one that was a roller derby one in Brighton. I didn't go to this one, but the pictures are incredible. And it was all like disco-y and bright colours and disco balls, and the bride, they're dressed up in like sequin hot pants and roller skates, and it was amazing. And that was like, although again it was quite stylized, it was like that kind of vibe, discos, 80s, that sort of thing.
Because even though traditional weddings are still big, or different style weddings are also quite big.
There's so many. I mean, I would, since doing all the styled shoots, I've done more stylized weddings, definitely, because people see them, and then the other thing is that people will go to the photographer. I mean, I've had a lot of referrals from photographers and wedding stylists, because they've had people come to them and they've gone, right, so we also need a cake and we need flowers and that, and then they use all of the people from the styled shoot out into their lists. And I've had some really good gigs from those.
And so I'm trying to sort my thing out, and I've got venues, and I've contacted them.
Right.
Who else do you think would be good to have as part of your team for your shoot?
I think a stylist, so like a
Yeah.
wedding stylist, because they look at things. So when you go to a styled shoot, obviously as a cake maker, you want your cake to look amazing, right? The florist wants their flowers to look amazing. The dressmaker wants all of their stuff to look amazing. The stylist, so the wedding stylist will bring it all together. So they will see like the cutlery slightly out of place, or so when we did the Cruella one, we had a long table and we had white chairs on one side and black chairs on the other.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was all black and white. So we're all concentrating on our own little things, whereas the stylist can sit there and go, well, actually, no, that's all the wrong way around. And it was them that could see it. And it's like them that brings the whole vision together from everyone. I don't know what's going on behind me. I'm sorry.
It sounds like thunder.
I know. So yeah, so it's them that bring like the whole vision together, whereas, and which is, I suppose, what you would hope for a wedding coordinator and a stylist would do. You know, if you were booking a stylist for a wedding, you would hope that they would bring the cake maker in and the florist in, and then they bring it all together and make it look like.
Yeah.
Sorry, all my hair's all. It's just really annoying me. Yeah, so you would hope that they would. Sorry, God, my hair's all wrapped around my. Excuse me, listeners. I'm just sort of like rearranging my hair around my headphones.
Bronya's getting strangled.
Yeah, I get strangled by my own hair. Yeah, so I would say stylist is essential. Photographer, obviously. What's the point in doing it without a decent photographer?
Yeah, florist.
Florist would be ideal. Dressmaker or clothes, that kind of thing. The other thing with the stylist would do, they would bring in props. And because I know you've got a question later on about props. And I think you do need things like that. So if you've got someone that does stationery, they will probably send their suite of stationery, and then the stylist can lay it all out and make it look proper as such, you know. There's a dog just jumped up. This is a very visual podcast this week. Andy's just like behind.
He's just shot up, hasn't he?
It's like, oh, hello. So I would say, what was I saying? Photographer, stylist, dressmaker, florist,
venue.
Venue, stationer. If you can get some stationery, that's usually quite good. Get place names, that sort of thing on the table. If you're doing a tablescape, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think I am on mine, but anyway.
Well, you can do flat lays. That's the other thing. You can get stationery. And you can do flat lays of the stationery, you know, directly from above.
Okay. You flat lay. You know your stuff.
But that's what they call it. So they lay it all out, and then you take a picture directly over it.
Yeah.
And it's called a flat lay.
Thank you. I think I'm going to write that down. So I'm going to.
So when you're talking to a stationer, you go, "Oh, what about a flat lay?"
Yeah. Flat lay. Okay. Right. So, how do you get people to be involved? How were you contacted? Was it all like emails or?
Yeah, generally it was emails, or on Facebook, or on Instagram.
Yeah.
There were people that I generally had networked with anyway.
Yeah.
There were a couple that completely came out of the blue that asked me completely out of the blue, would you be involved in this? And then they would send me a mood board, unless it was like, I want an urn that looks like it's got the ashes of my dead uncle in it. That was very specific. Generally, it would be like, this is our idea. This is what we would really like to do. Are you interested?
Yeah.
And so there were a couple that I wasn't interested in, because I just like, that's not a route I want to go in my business. Thank you for contacting me, but no thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was generally via email or via Instagram. You know, I've seen you on Instagram. Love your stuff.
Yeah.
Would you be involved, sort of thing?
Yeah, because I'm in the process of putting everything together, all my ideas and everything. So I've been to one of the venues and I've taken photos.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to another venue next week for a meal so that we can check it out. Yeah. So where would you put your mood board together? Would you use social media, what's it, Pinterest or something like that, or would you do a visual one?
I would probably do a visual one. I've been included in Pinterest ones. So sometimes you can do like a joint board and invite everyone to join it. And that was quite good because because you get quite, the only problem I found is that I actually went through my Pinterest the other day and deleted a load off because they're all still hanging around on my Pinterest. And I'm like, what's this about? I don't understand. I think as long as it's visual, maybe put together a collage on Canva or something on Pinterest, just so you can bring all the ideas together. And it's a visual thing that people can, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, I did one and there wasn't a cake on the mood board at all. There was no cake on the mood board, but it was like all a festival feel, and there was like flags that you'd get at the festival, and then there was like a color palette and flowers that they were looking for, and from that I could really get like the feel of what they were looking at. And they're like neon signs and all that sort of thing. But that was just like an A4 piece of paper, or an A4 document that came through lots of pictures on it that they'd done on Canva.
That's a good idea.
Every
time I use Canva, I love it, and every now and then I go, I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's because it's such a huge program, isn't it? And you use just a tiny little bit of it.
And it keeps saying to me, why didn't you do this, or why didn't you do that? Anyway,
I don't know, I didn't know about it.
I digress. So because I'm doing kind of an alternative shoot, I'm choosing smaller locations. Within Southampton, there's 3 of them we've pinpointed. What do you think makes a good location?
Right, so
I love that I'm interviewing you.
So one of the shoots I did a shoot in Tooting. It was one of the first shoots I did, and it was the first shoot I did out of COVID, and it was all about like eloping. So it was a 6-inch cake.
Yeah.
It was
that was perfect for just after COVID.
And it was a 6-inch cake, and they did it at a bar in Tooting, off of Tooting Broadway. And it was such a lovely shoot. And they also went walking down. So Lex got a couple to walk down Tooting Broadway, dressed up as the wedding couple, taking pictures, walking across the road. And you could see everyone like looking round, and all the photos were great. But the venue, what was good about the venue is they kind of just left us to it. So they went, right, there was a courtyard out the back, and then there was inside. Most of it was in the courtyard because it was quite dark inside. So I think the lighting has got to be good. If you're going to be inside, you've got to have good lighting, because your photographer doesn't want to be bringing lights with them. They want to be able to light it like it was a wedding. And you just need to be left alone. That's really, you don't want them watching over you, checking you're not scratching things and putting things down in the wrong place, and you just need them to be able to like leave you to it, as long as you're respectful of them and leave the place nice, and then give them lots of pictures afterwards. You just kind of need their trust to get on with it, I'd say.
And do you think a photo shoot, like organising a photo shoot outside, is a good idea? Because I know you have done outside photo shoots, haven't you?
I have. We did one. It was the Gucci one. We did one. I've never been so cold in my life. So cold that day, because it was a really nice. It was a lovely venue. It was actually the venue that my cake fell apart at. Dorking. If we go many episodes ago when my cake fell apart, it was that venue. It was beautiful venue in Dorking, and it was like midweek. So that's the thing, is that the venue tries to fit you in when they've got nothing else going on. So it was midweek in the middle of winter. It was so cold. And the poor models, they kept having these rugs put around them, and then quickly take the rugs off, have a picture taken, and rugs put back around them again. But it looked amazing because it was like misty and all atmospheric, and it was beautiful. So I mean, outdoor shoots, as long as you've got an alternative, as long as if it rains and you can make it part of the shoot, you know, like you've got fancy umbrellas or something, fine.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. But
Because I want to do part of it outside, because we live in Southampton, and it's I want to get the docks in and that sort of a vibe. So I'm hoping that I will be able to.
So there's this one that we did in Tooting, and I'll say she had them walking down Tooting High Street.
Yeah.
Or walking along Tooting Broadway. We went through Tooting Broadway Market, and it was fantastic. And the pictures are so good because it was of a time, you know, it's of a time where it was only two people getting married, walking down the high street, people looking at them, and you can see everyone's wearing their masks and everything, and people looking at them as they're walking past, and you can see it's like a real urban area, and it's a real urban place, and it like the whole thing like summed it up. And if you're going into Southampton, going down to the docks, and you want all that in the background, do it. You know, it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, perfect backdrop.
Yeah, and if it's right, do you know what? It's one of those things that very rarely will it rain all day. There will always be a moment that you can run out and get pictures.
Yeah.
You know,
that's right. And it doesn't really affect me because I as long
you're
as
indoors.
Yeah.
But if you get some nice umbrellas, make it part of it. Get some vintage umbrellas or something.
Yeah. I have actually got an umbrella that used to be yours, and it's one of those ones that you go poof and it boings out.
Oh, the whole thing boings out. Yeah. But if you get some like nice vintage umbrellas, just make it all part of the deal, because it would be funny if people are getting married in England somewhere like chances are it might pee down.
Yeah.
Make it part of
it. Yeah.
You know?
So I'm going to speak about models now, because obviously when you've organised it,
the models have been
not organised it, they've already been there, haven't they? But what I've done is I've asked my my eldest and my youngest. My middle one said no, thank you very much. And
I can see that.
Yeah. I've asked my nieces and their boyfriends, and they're up for it. I know Sass and knows people, because she has people in the shop, young people in the shop.
Youths.
But I've also asked my best friend Birdie and her husband to and because
the thing is that what happens with a lot of photo shoots is that they become very stereotypical because of the models. You know, young white girl, boy. So I've done a couple of photo shoots that have been gay, you know, same sex models.
Yeah, well, that's what we want to do as well.
Yeah, and I think it's easier. I've also done photo shoots where they've hired models, and that's been a massive chunk of their budget for the photo shoot.
Yeah.
And the Cruella one, actually, they hired the models, and she was beautiful. She was absolutely stunning, and they hired her because they wanted it to look like Cruella, and she fitted the bill perfectly. But then there are others that they've had like mates along.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit more real. It's just a little less, I don't know, squeaky clean. Do you know what I mean?
That's right, because we live in a world of Photoshop and all of that. You need realism.
And you don't want to actually fall into that trap of just being the same white same-sex couple of a certain age. You know, you don't want to fall into that trap, because that's not who you are.
Or
if that's who you
are as well.
Yeah. I mean, if that's who you are, and that's what your vibe is that's who your ideal client is, fine. But I don't think personally that is your ideal.
No,
I don't think that's your vibe. But saying that, I also did a photo shoot. The photos never got released anywhere, thankfully. And it was on a cruise ship in Southampton.
Yeah.
And the models were really misguided. I don't know who arranged the models, but they were going for an older vibe, because it was a cruise ship. So they were going for like the older vibe. And it never worked. I don't know what went wrong with it, but it never worked. And they didn't even look like they didn't look like they even liked one another, quite frankly. And then at one point they had two women. Had two women on the staircase. And it's like, okay, is this a same-sex marriage, or is this just, are we just showing off dresses? What is going on here? And it was like there was no thought as to what we were trying to project.
There was no fluidity.
No, it was like, right, so do they know each other? Do they like one another? Are they getting married? No one had sort of like said to them.
Yeah.
Or I don't think anyone had even thought through the process of who these models are in relation to one another.
Because I think that's one of the things I want to talk about is having a plan. You can't just rock up and go, okay, let's just take some photos.
You need to have a list of what photos you want.
Yeah, and how many you want, and what outfits you're wearing.
Yeah,
whether you're going to have a change of clothes.
Yeah, definitely, and like different areas around. So let your photographer walk around like they would at a wedding. Let the photographer walk around the venue. Go, I like this area, I like that area, I like the other area.
Yeah.
Also, if you're like the cake maker that's being brought in, like I have been on so many occasions, don't be scared to speak up.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that it's a really busy day. Lots and lots of things go on, and they'll suddenly go, right, we need the cake, and the cake can be shoved there. And don't be scared to go, well, can I just tinker with it a bit? Can I just make it look better? That's not quite right. Actually, and because you're part of this photo shoot, say to them, I'd really like a shot from this angle. Could I have it with that person in it?
Yeah.
Tell people what you want as much as them telling you how they want it done, because otherwise you will be railroaded and you'll sit back in the corner and go, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. And I'm not I'm quite happy to let everyone else make the decision.
Yeah.
So I think because I'm kind of running this, I need to know my shit. I need to be together. I need to know because props as well. We were kind of talking about that earlier on. It's important to, if you're going to have a prop, you need to know what you're going to have, and you're going to need to know in what scenario where's it
going to be placed, how's it going to be styled, and if you've got props with your cake, or if you want your cake to be on a certain stand, make sure it's put on that stand. I remember it was the Cruella one. I remember that. And there was this beautiful, it was so beautiful, a shiny black piano in the corner, and I went, I want my cake on that piano. I really want my cake, because it was a white cake and it had splatters all over it, and I really want my cake on that piano. And we put it on there, and then the venue came rushing and going, don't touch the piano. Oh my god. But yeah, so if there's something that you see as the cake maker, because these are your images too, this is your effort, you're getting as much out of this as they are. Make sure you get the shots that you want out of it, because you don't get that at a wedding, let's face it. There was another one I did, it was up in East London. I never stayed. I went up to East, it was Jules's birthday, and it was 3 individual cakes. And it had a real like boho theme, and there was a swing and all sorts of stuff. And they said to me, can you set the cakes up there was like lots of different rooms in this venue. Can you set up the cakes up in that room? So I spent probably about an hour setting them up with like dried flowers and gold leaf and all sorts of stuff. And then they moved them all, because I didn't stay. They moved them all, and I'm like, what was the point? What was the point of me doing that? I mean, they did take some, and then there was some where the bride and groom were holding these cakes, and they just looked awful. They looked terrible. And I do wish I'd stuck around to be able to say to them, don't hold it like that, because why are you holding a cake? Why are you stood holding cakes each? What is this? What part of the wedding does that happen at? So I regret it.
The photographer maybe went, I've got a great idea.
Hold the cakes.
Hold the cake and make a great shot.
And these 2 people looked terrified. And I made 3 cakes. That was the other thing. There were 3 cakes, and they were holding 2.
Oh my god.
Where's the third one? And it was all meant to be deconstructed on different heights of, and it was, they were on different height, like stands and everything. And it looked really nice when I left it. So don't be scared to talk up for yourself.
No. And the good thing about having a photo shoot is you're going to have images
Oh, so many images
to use.
Yes, so
And
many
if you've
images.
got your head screwed on, you'll take videos
Yes.
as well, because
The one thing I would say though,
yeah,
make sure whenever you share anything, you share everyone's you credit everyone and
yeah,
tag everyone involved,
yeah,
because you're all in it together.
yeah,
So if you share an image, make sure if someone's wearing a dress, you tag the
tag them,
dressmaker, tag the florist, tag
yeah,
the photographer, tag the venue. Just make sure you do your part
yeah,
to be part
yeah,
of that
because
network.
you're all working together. You're all
Yeah,
putting in some of your own
yeah,
time for free.
yeah.
So
And you want them to tag you.
yeah,
So when they share an image, you want your
yeah,
name to pop up so people go, oh, who made the cake? So,
yeah,
treat other people as you want them to treat you when they're sharing their
yeah.
images.
That's right.
Otherwise, you're never
And
going to be found.
no, that's right. Because there's a cake that I did just for Christmas. I don't know if you saw it online, the African style cake.
Yes, beautiful. Yes.
And the photographer took loads of photos, and he had quite a difficult name. So he
Right.
loaded it onto my Instagram,
Okay.
and it just disappeared. It wasn't on there,
Oh,
and I couldn't find him. So make sure you make a note
yeah.
of whoever
So
you've got.
I've got a Trello board. Okay. So I've actually got a Trello board. And so what generally happens is whoever's organized the photo shoot, when they send out the gallery to everyone, they will
Yeah.
include all the tags and
Oh,
all the,
that's a very good idea.
so the gallery goes out and all the tags go out with it. And and the other thing is that quite a lot of photographers, they will keep their photos up on their system for like 6 months, and then
Yeah.
they'll take them down. So make sure if there's pictures you want, take them, get
Oh,
them off
that's a
of the
good tip
gallery.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remove them, because otherwise you're going to have to go back to that photographer in 6 months going, that picture that you took 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But what I do, I've got a Trello board with all the photo shoots I've been involved in, with like a list of credits and tags, where it was, who all the other people were. My favorite pictures are there, and then I've got a whole folder on my OneDrive of all the different photo shoots I've been involved in and all the pictures that I've downloaded to use in the future. So every time I use them, I can go to the
Yeah.
Trello board and pick out the credits and just drop and drag them onto my
Yeah.
Instagram.
Because reuse, reuse, reuse.
Reuse. I mean, I'm still using pictures from years ago because
Well,
they're professional photos.
yeah, I still use the very first pictures that that photo shoot we did at Froyle Park.
At Froyle Park, yeah.
Which was
And I've still got
amazing.
pictures. We did the one at Froyle Park. We did another one. I can't remember where it was. It was beautiful. I took our Morris Traveller there.
Yes.
And I still use a lot of those.
Yeah.
And they're like probably 10 years old.
Yeah. No, they're more than that, aren't they?
Yeah, probably. And we're still reusing them. But thing is that if you tag people and they don't exist, that's not your fault anymore.
No.
But just make sure you tag them, because you want them to tag you if they don't the other way around.
Yeah.
Just manners.
What goes around comes around.
Absolutely.
In a nice way.
Yeah. Yes.
So finally, Bronya, here's your chance to say how amazing you are. And to promote your recipe book.
I've got a great recipe book out. Buy it.
Where can we find it?
It's on our website, daisycakeandco.com. I do think that style shoots are a great idea. And if you can get them on a blog or into a publication, that's even better. But yeah, just if you are going to try and put them in a blog, don't release too many pictures before the blogger said yes or no, is what I would say. Because I've been on like quite a few big blogs, like the Unwedding and Love My Dress and all that. And the photographer says, please don't use any photos until they've said yes or no. If they say no, you can use them all you want. If they say yes, we've got to wait for them to be released by. Some blogs are quite fine with it. Other blogs are a little bit like about it. But if you can get onto a big blog as well. I mean, like Green Shoes. I remember getting one onto Green Shoes. I had so many so
Wow.
many applications, inquiries from that, which is always
Yeah.
good. But just enjoy it. Just have
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah. I've just had a thought. I wonder if you should contact the local paper as well.
Yeah,
As
why not?
because they
Yeah.
like Rumsey Advertiser.
Yeah.
Where we were, because we were in there, weren't we?
Put it round everywhere. I mean, the thing is that you've got to think, where will your ideal client be looking?
Yeah.
And if your ideal client is looking at, I mean, we've got a website here. I think it's Live Surrey. You've probably got a Live Hampshire or something. I don't know. Put it on, and if you think that your ideal client, that's the sort of thing that they'll scroll through, send pictures to them, see what they do. I know the ones that we did in Hampshire, they all went through to, was it Hampshire Wedding Magazine?
Yeah,
The
something
magazine,
like that.
print.
Hampshire Life, Hampshire Wedding.
I think it was Hampshire Wedding.
Yeah.
Ones I've done more recently, they've all gone on to big blogs, so like alternative wedding blogs, like say like The Unwedding, Love My Dress, all that sort of thing. But I would say just enjoy the day. Enjoy the day, get a load of lovely pictures and use them.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, and network.
Yeah.
Talk to people.
Network, darling.
Network, darling. Because you're spending a whole day with these people. You'll know if you like them by the end of it.
Yeah. That's right. Well, I'm hoping, because we're going to do it in 3 different locations.
Whoa. Is this one day?
Yeah.
Wow.
So these are our plans.
Yeah, start early.
Yeah, and one venue will only let us in to collaborate for 1 hour on the Tuesday, but our shoot is on the Wednesday. If we go on the Wednesday, we have to pay. So I might do a mini shoot.
Yeah, just take take your cake and a few props along or something.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
The dog agrees with me there. He was going.
That could be like your warm-up shoot, getting.
Yeah, I can take the dog with me.
Well, so I have to say, my favourite shoot ever was the Cruella shoot, and that's because they had Dalmatians.
Yeah, but the thing is, Andy has his phone. I remember that shoot, actually, now you saying that. That was because didn't the dog do a wee up against the wedding dress?
Oh, so Felicity, the wedding dressmaker, she went, whatever you do, don't let the dog pee on my dress. What was the first thing the dog did?
Yeah.
Oh, but hey, it looked amazing.
Yeah. Andy hates having his photo taken, and whenever you hold the camera up, he always turns his head away.
Yeah, he's going to be useless then.
Yeah, so Andy's the dog, in case anyone's wondering. So we talk about him.
Andy's the dog that sits on Sammie's shoulder all through the podcast.
Yeah, he's here.
For anyone that watches on YouTube, that's Andy on her shoulder.
Andy. There we go.
All I can see is his ears because I've got your name.
Oh, the Sammie T. Yeah. Okay. Right. Are we doing a product of the week this week?
Yeah,
I've got one. I've got a product of the week. Am I going for? Oh, I've got to sing, haven't I?
Yeah. How did you forget to do that?
Well, I was quite excited about my new product of the week.
That's what I was going to say. So on Suzanne Esper's Instagram post, she did an Instagram post about the stencil that you did.
Yeah.
Someone put on there, I've just been listening about this on the Business of Cake Making. So then I put underneath, oh yes, it was Sammie's product of the week. And then they started doing the product of the week, with all like musical notes around it. No. Go and have a look on the Suzanne Esper page. It's great.
I will. I really want to buy that. It does look so good. Nice. I've sent out a couple of wedding designs incorporating that.
So you can buy. But yeah, go look on her post. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Right. Okay, it's time for, gonna click my fingers. Product of the week. It's time for product of the week. Hello. You can go first because I keep going first.
Right, okay. So you know how I like a bit of pasteurized egg whites.
Oh yes. Oh, I bought some. I used your recipe from your cake book.
So in my book, With Love and Buttercream, one of the recipes that Sammie and I demonstrated at the Cake and Bake Show is a simple meringue buttercream. So it's a buttercream that uses pasteurized egg whites. So you don't have to cook it, you don't have to heat it, nothing like that. And it uses pasteurized egg whites, which is usually the ones in a carton, right? Well, 2 chicks I have here have made it in a bottle.
Oh, that's very cool.
I found these in Lidl.
Lidl.
I haven't seen them anywhere else,
way.
but I haven't been anywhere else to look. But what's really good about these ones in the bottle is you don't have to refrigerate them.
No way.
Not until you've opened them. So when you open them, I know.
Yeah.
So
That is
they
a product of the week, because the other day I had to make I made 2 batches, but I still had a little bit left in the bottom, and I should have made some more, but I just left it there. But you've just said you can't open it, but if you need
freeze
it,
it. You know, once you've freeze it.
Yeah.
It doesn't whip
Oh my
up.
God.
Doesn't whip
No.
up as well once you freeze it. Right. So this before you open it, it's you don't have to refrigerate it. Once you've refrigerated it, let me find the instructions. Shake well before use, store in a cool, dry place. Once opened, keep refrigerated and use within 7 days. 7 days. So that's a long time. You've got a week to use that.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. So it's 500 grams, which is 15 egg whites.
And how much was it?
$2.99.
Whoa.
$2.99, and it comes with a screw top, and it's got like a sauce bottle on the top, so you squeeze it out with a sauce bottle. $2.99 at Lidl. You don't have to keep it in the fridge until you use it. So I bought this about a month ago, and the use by date is May 24. So that's okay until May 24.
Now that's a good product.
Yeah. So there you go. That's mine.
I don't want to tell you my product now.
I'm sure it's amazing.
Well, so my product of the week. So when I started making cakes back in the dark ages, I brought myself,
when we did it by candlelight.
Yeah. I bought myself an extruder. You know, the one with the handle.
Yeah. Oh, the one that, and then it goes clicks. Yeah.
So I've had it for years. I've mended it a few times. The internal mechanism broke.
I had one. I think I threw mine away in the end because it annoyed me so much. Yeah.
You had a twist. You had a different one to me.
But I had a clicky one as well. I threw the clicky one away.
I'm meticulous with my stuff. I know where everything is, but I lost the screw part of it, and I was like, oh my God. And I had to do Angus cows, Aberdeen cows. And so I thought, bugger it, and I bought myself a new one. It arrived today, and I used it this afternoon, and they've got it's kind of a different design from before, but it was
is it still nice. like the squeezy one? So it's not the turny one, it's the squeezy one. Right, okay.
One. Yeah. And I'd say the whole experience was very pleasurable.
Extruders, they can be just such hard work, can't they?
Yeah, it was easy to use. The little discs are thinner, so you have a little circle. So they're not as fat, and it felt like it worked better. I don't know. So you can put your sugar paste in with tracks in it, just make it go through quickly. It was just very good. But I had a look. So I bought mine on Amazon because I needed it for today. So I did Amazon, and I got mine for £8.95. £8.86 actually.
Random.
And this is but that's on Prime as well. So it's called a clay extruder, professional stainless steel clay extruder with 20-piece molds, sugar paste extruder for biscuit making. You couldn't get a biscuit out there, but so it is food safe.
Yeah.
But so that was £8 odd. But I had a look on Cake Stuff, and it was quite a lot more expensive. It's £16.16.
Oh.
So I think the one on Cake Stuff, it looks the same, but maybe it's a better model.
Okay. Well, we'll see if yours falls apart.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. But today, I'm singing its praises.
Well, there's an Instagram page called I don't know how to pronounce her name, Kyon, Kyongs, Cakes and Crafts, and she does a lot of stuff with like fondant. She lays fondant on top of other fondant, and she's been doing this experiment because she did it just reminded, because an extruder, it just reminded me of it, and I'm just seeing if I can find it. She did this thing with an extruder that she put in a rainbow of colours. So she put like a layer of red, a layer of blue, a layer of yellow, and then she put it through the extruder to see how it came out of the extruder. It doesn't come out how you put it in.
No.
And so as she put it through the extruder, like the middle of it would be red, and then the next bit it'd be
that's really interesting.
Really interesting. So yeah, go and have a check on it. Is it Kyongs, Cakes and Crafts or something like that?
Yeah.
It's Kyongs. And yeah, it was just like, extraordinary. And she did it all with the extruder, and it was quite interesting.
I should have a look at that. Yeah. How do you spell it?
Kyongs. And she's got a really sweet voice.
Yeah.
It's when you hear it, she's got a really, really sweet voice, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That is Kyongs.
Kyongs. I'm sorry, Kyong, that I'm pronouncing it wrong. I know how annoying it is when people pronounce your name wrong.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
They were talking about that on the radio today. Yeah, and people were messaging in all the sorts of names they'd been called because they had a funny spelling.
Yeah. You won't even believe. I mean, look what I've put up on the screen today. Brontosaurus. Yeah. Someone called me Brontosaurus once. I've had also Bronte, Bronny, Brontosaurus, Bronya, Bronwyn. Oh, that's Welsh, isn't it? No, it's Polish. Anyway.
Right.
All right. We've got.
Oh, there's more.
On Spotify. We've had a comment on Spotify.
Wow.
I know. I didn't even know you could do that. So this is a comment on this week's episode that's just gone out, which is with Natalie Stanton, the safety expert. So this is a comment on Spotify on that episode from someone called Nicola. She says, "What a great episode. So much information, and I learnt a little too, even after 12 years in the business as a home baker. Looking forward to the next one. Love your chats."
Oh, wow. That's so
Spotify,
lovely.
Please leave messages on Spotify.
I left one for the Sugarcraft Junkies the other day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they said thank you to you, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They're very sweet.
Right. Okay. So I think we're done.
Yeah.
Please like, review,
subscribe, rate. Dance.
We're so rubbish at this, aren't we?
Bake.
That's a new one to add to the list. Please tell your friends about us. Please subscribe wherever you listen. Please review. Send us messages. We'll read them out.
Oh my God! Can I just tell you something I've just thought of? So I was at this course at Tasteful Cakes.
Yeah.
And Christina said to me, that song you sung at the end of your podcast was funny after Cake and Bake Show, because I sang something like "So Long Farewell."
Oh yes, yeah.
And the woman opposite me went, "What's your name?" Like that. I went, "Sammie." She went, "Oh my God!" And she held up her phone and she went, "I listened to 3 podcasts." And she showed me, and ours was one of them. So, Karen, if you're listening,
hello, Karen. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. And her model broke when she got home as well. So she must have been so hacked off.
Oh, I'm sorry, Karen.
Yeah.
But thank you for listening.
Yeah. And it was so nice to meet her.
Oh, we love our listeners. We really do. Yeah. Oh, right, that is it now.
Yeah. Okay then. Bye.